There was a time when all YouTubers, social media influencers were getting out of the markets and they were done. And that started at about of September, October, November of 2021. What was I doing? Well, I was buying oil. I was buying a ton of oil. As the COVID started to wear off, or the COVID effects started to wear off, and some people were starting to come out of their hangovers, they needed something. And what did we see on the channel? You know what we said on the channel. I said it here on September 28th, 2019. What did I say with the Raven? But what is the real thing? Like, there's something so big in the works. Either it's a real big hot war that's going to wipe out a percentage of us. Either they're going to pull the trigger on a mass pandemic. Or it's going to be something. And so I said it here in the fall of I thought it was summer, but fall of 2019, because I did mention that we're going to pull the trigger on a pandemic many times. So what did I do? I actually acted on it, and I followed my own discussion. And when oil dropped to a certain point and airlines dropped, I bought a ton of airline stock. I bought a ton of Air Canada at $14, $15. And that did really well for me. And then what did I do? While everyone was buying gold, I shorted gold again. I shorted gold again after it reached $2,000 and something a year ago, right? And most importantly, I've been telling everybody Canadian oil markets are doing amazing. Explained while oil stocks, why oil stocks are bulletproof. Okay, so what is going on? Well, here it is. Mike invests and actually makes money. So while everyone was getting out, I was buying oil. So what's happening? I've gotten out of oil and back into oil again this morning. And I'll show you some of my stock tips. Guys, please do your own investing. Don't take stock advice or investment advice from a Portuguese guy like me that can't read. You don't want to take advice from someone like me. Do your research. Make sure you know what you're doing. And find yourself a good investor that could give you advice better than I can. But I've been grinding oil for years now. I've been grinding oil back and forth for a long time now. So get ready for global supply shocks. IEA, sorry, so many alphabet companies. Russia could shut 30% of its crude oil output from April if it doesn't find buyers. So that's what's going on right now, and it's causing a major shortage. Russia could be forced to cut crude production by nearly a third starting next month, as traders are reportedly reluctant to buy oil from the country. Now, the whole world's against Russia, right? I'm on no sides. I love the people in all the countries. I just hate government policy and what governments put people through. That's just me. Amid Western sanctions, the International Energy Agency warned on Wednesday the prospect of large-scale distributions to Russian oil production is threatening to create a global oil supply shock. We estimate that from April 3rd, 3 million barrels per day of Russian oil output could be shut in as sanctions take hold and buyers shun exports, the agency writes in its last oil market report. Only Saudi Arabia and UAE hold substantial spare capacity that could immediately help to offset the Russian shortfall, the agency says, adding that other OPEC nations are complying. So what has Joe Biden been doing the last couple of weeks? We've been talking about it last night on the Mic of the Night too. He's been sniffing around for oil, and everyone's telling him to pound sand. Venezuela told him to pound sand. I think it was Iran. Lots of countries are telling Biden where to stick it, right? With the agreement to increase supply by the modest monthly amounts, according to the IEA, surging commodity prices and international sanctions against Russia following its military operation in the Ukraine are expected to principally depress the global economic growth. So the U.S. and Canada and Australia banned imports of Russian oil earlier this month, affecting some 13% of Russian exports. International oil companies quit joint ventures with Russia. So we're seeing what's happening here. So now, there it is. Oil surges 7%. So this morning I jumped back in with my 3 stocks I've been buying and selling on the channel. And this is not a secret to anyone on the channel. If you don't know these 3 stocks, then you haven't been watching this. channel too much. London oil prices climbed over 7% on Thursday after International Energy Agency. So I was watching the overnight markets, and I'm back in oil. And oil's just past $100. There it is right there. And it's climbing. It's just over $100. It's up 7.19%. So I got in a decent point this morning. So there it is right there. This is the last. Let's go through the last. Sorry, we won't catch the 5 days, but I sold. This is one Athenia. I call it Athenia, Athabasca Oil Corporation. I keep buying this at a good price and reselling it. I can keep buying the stock. Should you jump in now? I don't know. But for me, I've been buying and selling. There's a March 8th or 9th is when I sold, and we did an episode of Mike in the Night. And let me just check the date there on the calendar here. When that was March 9th is when I sold. That in the morning of March 9th, is when I sold the stock here. Because I already knew it was going. No, March 8th, because it was the Tuesday I sold it. And then on Mike of the Night, I stated that I sold it. And now I'm back in. I'm taking a chance, guys. Remember, this is risky. Crescent Point, again, another one I've been talking about on the channel for years. And I have a good feeling about this. They're buying a lot of assets, and they're buying other smaller oil companies across Canada. So these are Canadian, easy-to-buy stocks if you live in Canada, and they're traded. Crescent Point is being traded on the NYSE too. And also, there's Suncor Energy right there. This one I buy and sell not too often, but I bought in last time, and I sold last time, and I'm back in again this morning. So, I don't know. I'm feeling that this is another, let's pull it back and get people, make some money or whatnot, and, pull back, short it, pull it back, then reset it again. It's almost like a little alarm clock. So, what have we been talking about? And then oil stocks doing amazing, explained. Canadian oil stocks are dropping like a rock, but not in Canada. So there it is. While oil stocks are bulletproof, we go into that. We predicted the oil going into negative territory a day before. The video's up there. You can see it. And this is when oil was crashing. Look at this, guys, in our channel time machine. Oil might reach $10 4 years ago. And that's when oil was really taking a beating, if you guys remember. But the price of food kept going up. So this is our channel time machine. There's lots of oil discussion, hundreds of videos on oil discussion and what we've been talking about. So there it is. So while the rest of the world was basically getting out of the markets, and I'm done with the markets, I'm free, I was buying oil. And I tell people, when you smell war, you hedge with oil. That's how it works, and that's how it's always going to work. If you guys watch Mike in the Night religiously, or watch the videos that I make from time to time, you will see that I've been talking about very specific oil stocks that I've been buying heavily since November of last year. Athena, ATH, it's on the Athenian oil, whatever. I think I started picking it up at 70 cents or less than that. Crescent Point is one I bring up all the time on their thing. I bring up the charts. I even brought it up on last Mike in the Night and the Mike in the Night before. So if you even got in 2 Mike in the Nights before, you could have almost did you could have done a good 180 straight up going north in your portfolios, and then Suncor, and then oil. The ticker is oil, OIL, going into the future, and that's basically energy is where to go when we are at a time of war. I don't take sides on this Ukrainian and Russian. I love the people on both sides, so there's no. I hate communism though, but there's no, it's governments. I hate communism. That means you hate government, basically. Don't hate the people of any country. And I hate the governments that are putting people or creating these policies to make the people of the countries look like criminals. And that's really bad. And they're ostracizing Russian hockey players, Russian tennis players, Russian athletes, Russian pianists, making them look bad on a world stage because of their government policy. I don't think nobody voted for Putin to be in power. And that's why governments, people need to take back what is theirs. So guys, look at oil. I've been grinding oil for years. Oil's been getting me by for years. And when we had that big downturn when I was buying all the airline stock, if you guys remember that video, I was buying a lot of oil too because that was down too. And sold it off finally a week and a week, maybe 2 weeks now. I can't keep track, but it's about that now. And I'm back in again, both feet. If I lose, you know what tickers I took, I lost. But if I gain, then it's fingers crossed. But let's see where the mainstream media tries to push the narrative and kind of follow that and invest accordingly. Okay, guys? So a lot of us have done good the last 2 years with this whole whatever they want to call it. Whatever. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Comment below. Lots of love. And we'll see each other on the flip side. Mike Martins invests and actually makes money. Thanks for watching, guys. I have spoken.